You are listening to the Fringe Radio Network. FringeRadioNetwork.com.
You're listening to Earth Oddity, a weekly odyssey into all the oddity planet Earth has to offer. And now, serving it up are Christopher Tiny Sullivan and John Long.
Greetings, everybody, and we thank you so much for joining us, whether you are walking around in the dog park covered in peanut butter or plotting a murder in full view public on Snapchat. We thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you for tuning in for another episode of Earth Oddity. We're glad you're here.
That voice that you're hearing there is the world's biggest Birmingham Iron fan.
Iron Long fan.
I was about to say, man lives his life in an Iron Long.
That's right. Ooh,
Mr. John Long.
Oh, I love it. I need to make a Twitter that can be my handle.
Iron Long.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. At AAF Iron Long. I may do that. I don't know. Probably not. I mean, it takes effort, and I'm too consumed with the Birmingham Iron. So, yes. But yeah, thanks for joining us. Got a lot of good stories today. A few that are pretty mind-blowing when you think about it. Got a list of ranking of the most sinful states in the United States. So for all you sinners out there, you'll know where you need to move and feel more comfortable. So, but
whether you're trying to better yourself.
Yeah.
Or you're going for the top 10.
Right, yes. Yeah.
Trying to get your initials on that top 10 board.
That's right, yeah.
You'll know.
You'll know. And, all the missionaries that listen to us, if you're looking for a place to go, it may be a state that you're already in. You can go ahead and start ministry.
Spoiler alert, if you're in the Bible Belt.
Yeah, doesn't look good for us down here. I know we like to pretend we're better than everybody. Doesn't look too good for us down here.
Turns out the Bible Belt has a lot of churches because there are a lot of sinners.
A whole lot of sinners. Whoa, way more than I was ever even thought about. In fact, hey, let's just go ahead and get into that one.
Let's hit that one right off the top.
Let me get over here to my article. It's from AL.com. Bible Belt shocker, where Alabama lands on the list of most sinful states is the headline. Now, good news, we're not number one. Definitely not number one. So Wallet Hub looked at 38 key vice indicators to determine what they considered for immorality.
Okay, Wallet Hub. I
trusted internet
source for sin.
The data includes such terms as violent crimes per capita, to excessive drinking, to a share of the population with gambling disorders. Some more of them are like anger and hatred, which has everything from bullying to sex offenders.
Hate crimes.
Yeah. Jealousy, which is like theft and identity fraud. Excessive vices, which are share of obese adults. I feel like that's where we made up a lot of ground around here.
Unfortunately, I'm doing my part.
Yeah, excessive drinking. I mean, got a little bit of that going on here. A lot of Methodists in Alabama. And
all of that data taken from the University of Alabama's campus.
Yeah, right, on a game day.
Yes.
Share of population using marijuana, retail opioid prescriptions dispensed per 100 persons. Now, I'll say out of all the states in the union, Alabama was ranked number one in that one category, which was one metric that went all into excesses and vices.
Well, doctors, they really like the drug reps.
Yes. Yes. Greed was one. Charitable donations as a share of income was one of the metrics that went into that. Lust. Oh, lust is a big one. That's a traditional sin powerhouse.
If that's not Nevada, I'm throwing this whole thing out.
You have persons arrested for prostitution, average time spent on adult entertainment sites, Google search interest index for XXX entertainment, and teen birth rate. I don't know why they threw that one in there, but and then we got
I was about to say, everybody in Alabama gets married when they're a teenager, so that one's not, that one's a little off.
Vanity. So basically going 7 deadly sins here.
Right.
Beauty salons per capita.
Beauty salons?
Yes. Google search interest index for top 5 plastic surgeries goes into there. Laziness. I feel like we're probably pretty strong in the laziness category down here. Share of adults not exercising would be one. Volunteer rate, high school graduation rate, and share of disconnected youth, whatever that means. I thought all youth were disconnected in some way. I was about to say
there are some really rural areas of Alabama where everybody's disconnected. Right. You can't get high-speed internet.
So let's just start here. What do you think is the least most sinful state in all of the United States?
The least most sinful. I would want to guess Delaware just because they're so tiny.
Wow.
But that's from a perspective of data science. That's not because there's churches on every corner or anything.
My guess was Utah.
Okay. Not a bad guess.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do anything fun in Utah, right? I mean, snow ski and all that.
Although I would think their teen pregnancy rates has got to be pretty high.
Yeah, probably so. Do a little soaking. If you don't know what that is, might want to Google it. But yeah, it's Vermont. So you were close. Okay. You weren't that far geographically from it. They were number 50. I guess there's just not a whole lot to do in Vermont. I've been to Vermont, and it's not a whole lot to do up there.
Hard to sin when there's not a lot to do, but look at lighthouses.
Well, let's get down to home here. The state of Alabama, where do you think we rank?
On overall sinfulness?
Overall, just all metrics, all 7 deadly sins, where do you think we're coming in?
I'm gonna say top 10. I'm gonna say 10.
Oh, little high. We're number 11. We're knocking on the door.
Oh, man.
We're knocking on the door. I feel like with a little effort, we can get in that top 10 this next season and then make a push for the top 5. I think if we just concentrate, we got to focus, we got to do what it takes to win, you know. Let's go with our top 10 here. Number 10, Louisiana. Don't think that surprises anybody. Louisiana, I mean, it's got New Orleans, and that'll tip the scales for anybody, right? Number 9, shout out to my friend Todd, Arkansas. So Arkansas, number 9. Number 8, Michigan. Shout out to all my relatives up in Michigan. Number 7, Illinois. That was a surprise to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised they're not higher.
Well, they got Chicago. Yeah, yes. True. Yeah, but the rest of it's like corn.
Murder 3 or 4 people a day in Chicago?
From what I understand, based solely off of Facebook posts from friends who are very political, you just walk in the daylight in Chicago and you have a great chance of getting shot.
Yeah. It's a sundown town for everybody.
Number 6.
Regardless of race.
Number 6. That's going to tie into an article we have later on.
Yes.
Number 6, just a little bit of foreshadowing, was Tennessee. Number 5 was Georgia. Number 4 was Texas. Don't mess with Texas.
They've got it's a big state, so I imagine that's what helped them.
So number 4
get into the top 5
is really beginning our playoffs. So number 3 is Nevada. I feel like Nevada is a little lower than I would have expected.
Wow.
Yeah.
There must have been a big missionary push in Nevada recently.
Maybe so.
For them to drop that far.
Maybe so. Or maybe they just let's concentrate all our sin in 1 or 2 cities. And then the rest of the state's very good. They're reading their Bible all the time, praying, helping other folks. And then, on the weekend, they may just go into Vegas and do a bunch of blow and gamble and buy a hooker.
You would think a state with a city whose moniker is Sin City to be number 1.
Well,
I'm surprised.
I would, if I was a Nevadian, is that how you say Nevadan?
Nevadan.
I would be a little disappointed. I feel
like
we could do better.
They got extraterrestrials coming from out of the solar system to get in on the sin game. So.
Number 2, California. California is number 2. You got L.A.
I expected them to be number 2.
At least top 5 for sure. And then number 1. Out of all the states, all 50 states, what would be number 1? What do you think?
Oh, man. Well, I would have guessed Nevada.
Right.
But since they're number 3, I'm going to guess maybe just solely based on population, I'm going to say New York.
Okay. That would be wrong.
Oh, no.
Number 1, our good friends, our neighbors to the south, Florida. Yes, they're number 1. So let's break out and talk a little bit about Alabama because that's where we're from. We have a lot of listeners from Alabama, and I'm sure everyone else who listens to this is so envious of us living in Alabama that they might want to move here one day.
Yeah.
Because Alabama is known as, the Harvard of all states, and we're just great. So we're ranked 9th in hatred.
Okay.
Way higher than I thought we'd be. That's way higher. But I'm also not surprised because, like I
was going to say, it doesn't surprise me with the story. Again, foreshadowing, story coming up, it doesn't surprise me.
Yes, right, exactly. We're 14th in jealousy, so have a lot of theft, identity theft, and all that goes on here. We are 9th for excessive vices. And like I said, we had the highest rate of opioid prescriptions per 100 people in all of the nation. So, which is a huge problem. There's really not many jokes I can make about that other than
sometimes you need to tell your doctor no.
Well, yeah. Or if you have a back injury, come to Alabama. We'll give you the medicine you need. Okay.
And the medicine you want.
Yeah, right. And the medicine you want. Yes. Now, you probably shouldn't crush it up and snort it off the nightstand. You should take it as a doctor prescribes it. But anyways, we're 33 in greed, though.
Okay.
Yeah, we do great.
So overall, we're very generous.
Right. We do great with charitable giving. Of course, gambling's illegal pretty much in Alabama. So that's going to bring that down
you
as
can play
well.
bingo, though.
You can play bingo. Now.
Played some bingo last night.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
50s bingo.
That's right. 50s bingo. I'm not going to say where, but we did.
For prizes.
For prizes. Free. Yeah, it was all free. It was not a game of stakes. And there certainly was no dancing or anything like that. We are 7th for lust. So, a lot of lustful people down in Bama.
Well, we have a lot of beautiful women, too.
We do.
So.
Golly, we do. Man, it's rough. I mean, at least once or twice a year, there is an accident on the campus of the University of Alabama that is solely caused by a middle-aged man just driving through there and rubbernecking at all the girls walking through.
That's why I don't drive down there.
Absolutely,
no more.
I will not drive through campus anymore.
I have no reason to go there.
I don't have an insurance policy that covers that. We got a lot of beautiful women. A lot of people like to spend a lot of time on the internet, too, in Alabama. So we're only 33rd for vanity. So we don't have a whole lot of beauty salons. We're not getting plastic surgery. We're not searching about plastic surgery.
Well, we don't need those.
That's right, because we got beautiful women. Right. And all the guys just don't care. So this is one last ranking. The top 5 states that spent the most time on adult entertainment websites. Number 5 was Louisiana. Number 4, good old Alabama. Sweet home Alabama. Number 4. Number 3, Arkansas. Woo pig. All right. No, if you don't know anything about Arkansas athletics and you're listening to this, you absolutely have no idea why I said woo pig in relation to searching or spending time on adult entertainment sites. But just say it's legit. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Number 2, Hawaii.
Hawaii?
Hawaii. I feel like you got a lot of time on the beach there. You don't. Why are you spending time on an adult?
Well, they don't. I mean, they're such a small state. They have. I mean, it's just a group of islands. So
true. You probably dated everybody you can date if you're a single guy.
Well, now I don't know if you remember this, but early last year when we had the false nuclear missile alert,
yes, that's right.
I feel like that kind of artificially inflated those numbers a little bit.
Maybe so. Let's just get one done before the nuclear holocaust happens.
What else am I going to do?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay, that's a solid point. Very solid point. And last is our neighbor to the west, Mississippi.
All right.
Shout out to Wiltz. Glad you're pumping those numbers up over there, buddy. Imagine keeping your state number 1 in that.
Great job, Wiltz.
Yes. We were also, I forgot to mention this, we were 5th in laziness. So
okay.
Yeah.
No
top
surprise
5
there.
Top 5. I'm proud of that. I feel like we could get to number 1 in that with just very little effort.
Oh, man.
That was a joke, by the way. Very little effort. But anyways, yeah, so that's where we are. You know, we got listeners all over the globe. They just dropped the pod rankings the other day, and, I mean, we're just shooting up the charts.
Yeah.
So I can't go over every state, but I would say that Utah, which was my guess, I don't think I covered this, was like number 47. Mm-hmm. So,
oh wow,
yeah.
Okay.
North Dakota 49, Maine was 48. So that's your bottom 5. Well, Iowa was 46. Mm-hmm. So that's your bottom 5 right there in least sinful states for if you're looking to open up a Baptist church somewhere. You know. So
That's where you're not needed.
yeah, you're not needed there. You need to be in Alabama. That's why literally can't drive a mile without seeing a church in this state.
Maybe you can set one up in Mississippi.
Yeah.
But, it's not like Mississippi has a shortage of Baptist churches.
No, but we need to send some missionaries to Florida for sure. You know,
Yes.
we need to be down there handing out Bible tracts and, inviting people to church on Sunday.
Well, John, I got to hand it to you. That is the most fun I've had on the show in a while. I don't even know how I'm going to follow that one up. Well, I suppose we could talk about the Michigan official who dresses as Mickey. That's Mickey Mouse, by the way.
Okay.
To criticize government spending.
All right.
I feel like if you're going to criticize government spending,
Yeah.
there are worse ways you could get attention.
Worse ways. Definitely. Mickey that's hey, we're running a Mickey Mouse government here. I'd use that line all the time. Yeah. So there we go.
And also, this comes from Flint, Michigan.
Okay.
So this is the same city that
having
can't
all
get
the
their
water problems. Right. Yes.
Water situation fixed. A county official in Michigan dressed as Mickey Mouse to help draw attention to what he describes as wasteful spending on a Florida trip for employee training. Going back into the whole most
Get down there and sit in.
Yeah.
I got you.
John Gleason held a news conference Wednesday with play money and a suitcase as props while a woman dressed as Minnie Mouse stood behind him.
Okay.
He says spending about $25,000 to send 3 employees to the Disney Institute was another junket.
Ooh.
County Board Coordinator Josh Freeman, who was among the attendees this month, says that the expense was justified after about a decade of little spending on employee development and training. WJRT TV reports the board president also defended the travel. The Flint Journal reports commissioners approved the travel and lessons learned in Florida are to be shared with other county employees.
Okay.
So that's the end of the article. It's a short one.
Well, he's making a splash at least,
Yeah.
He's calling some attention to it, and that makes me feel good, especially with all the problems they've had in Flint. Like, if you got an extra penny, you need to put that towards replacing a water line or something.
I agree. Not sending 3 employees to the Disney Institute. What are they going to learn about government in Flint, Michigan at the Disney Institute?
Well, let's say Mickey Mouse, if you've ever been to Disney World, he runs a tight ship, man.
That's true.
Everything is detailed and planned, and your experience is 100% fun the whole time.
That's true.
So maybe we should send more. I would say
$25,000 is a lot of money, though.
I would say Chick-fil-A would probably do it for $15,000.
Hey, they run a tight ship.
They do.
Yeah.
I did. I don't know if you saw. They did leave a sandwich of mine out.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I did.
Yeah. So they do make mistakes.
I
brought it on myself.
I think that was an employee from Arby's going over there and trying to sabotage the competition.
I slept through church on Wednesday night. Okay. I got home from work. I had a long day. I had like a whole day long meeting. Got home, sat down in my chair. The kids all put their headphones on, were watching their iPads and playing video games or whatever. And I just dozed off, and then I woke up, and it was past time to make it to church on time. So then Deidre called because she was at work and was like, hey, I'll pick some dinner up on the way home. And she shows up, and I'm missing a Chick-fil-A sandwich that she ordered for me. So I feel like that was the Lord punishing me.
Maybe the Chick-fil-A employees, they knew that when they were putting the order together.
I feel like in Chick-fil-A, there's like a big red phone that God calls,
Yeah.
And he just like rings them up, and he's like, hey guys, on this next drive-through order, you need to leave the chicken sandwich out because the guy overslept through church. So, and they're like, okay, thanks God. Boom, hangs it up. But then maybe, if I do a good deed, he's like, hey guys, throw an extra couple of nuggets in his order, and, let's reward him. So it's really not how God works, but just for entertainment purposes only.
I can imagine it.
Yeah. So I feel like Chick-fil-A could help our government out a lot.
Probably.
They run a tight ship. Yeah, closed on Sundays too. So, and everybody's like that's the most disappointing thing in the world. So let's talk a little bit about the story we alluded to since we were on an Alabama thing.
Here we go. Okay, is there any kind of CYA we should offer before we start this?
Well, I would say first
we don't support this.
Yeah.
We're just going to talk about it because it's a national story. And
yes,
honestly, very disappointed in my state
Absolutely.
that this has become a thing.
Yes, right. And I would say, our views are not anywhere in line with this guy's views.
No.
At all. I don't even know if we can make this a funny story, but it was a huge story about something that happened in Alabama, and we're here.
And maybe it's a bit stereotypical. And
yeah,
I've heard jokes in the past aimed at Alabama and certain attitudes down here. And there's been times I've even defended Alabama, like, okay, we're not like that anymore.
Right.
And then something like this happens.
Yes.
Yes,
like, exactly.
Dang.
Hey, man, you're pulling us down, buddy. Because I will say this, and this is my experience as a white guy in Alabama, so I can't speak to everybody else's experiences in Alabama.
Right.
But I would say in the last 50 years, we've made tremendous strides in this state. We've been from basically segregated schools to everybody's, for the most part, getting along. So we've made really great strides. But as I tell my kids, sometimes the things you do will follow you around for the rest of your life. So if at some point in time you have turned fire hoses on African Americans and sick dogs on them and beat them up and lynched them,
who just want to be able to use the same water fountain you use.
Yes, who just want equal rights. You know, like that's some kind of wild concept. Then you may have to carry around the burden of that for the rest of your life. You know. So, and that's kind of how I feel about Alabama. I think Alabama is a wonderful state. Love it. It's entirely possible to love Alabama and hate the bad qualities of it too. It's not like either or, which people in Alabama get into sometimes. They're just like either so proud of Alabama that they defend all this crazy stuff, or they hate Alabama so much they just trash the whole state and talk about how they can't wait until they can move somewhere else that's going to be so much greater than Alabama.
Right.
You know, so having said all of that, I'm going to get into this. This is from USA Today. Alabama newspaper editor calls for the Ku Klux Klan to clean out D.C. Let's just let that lay there for just a second. Let everybody absorb that. We have a newspaper editor in Alabama who has called for the return of the Klan. So the editor of a small town Alabama newspaper published an editorial calling for the Klan to night ride again. Against Democrats in the Republican Party and Democrats who were plotting to raise taxes in Alabama. So we have a big push to raise the gas tax in Alabama. I don't know if you know about that. A lot of people are upset about that. Now, I, for one, don't enjoy riding on pothole-filled roads and having to replace tires and rims and everything else, but whatever.
Well, the problem is they'll get that money, but then they won't fix the roads.
Maybe. Who knows? Goodloe Sutton, what a great name for an old white guy, Goodloe, who is the publisher of the Democratic Reporter in Linden, Alabama, confirmed to the Montgomery Advertiser on Monday that he authored the February 14th editorial calling for a return of the white supremacist hate group.
Man.
Dropped it on Valentine's Day.
Dear goodness.
That's a power move. If we could get the Klan to go up there and clean out D.C., we'd be a lot better off, Sutton said. How does this thought process even get in your head?
It's a good question.
Asked to elaborate what he meant by cleaning up D.C., Sutton suggested lynching.
What?
Oh, yeah. What
does he even mean by this? Does he think there's too many minorities in D.C.?
I think he thinks that there are too many Democrats in D.C. All right. Now, take that for what it will.
Well, you know, I will say a lot of Democrats are not minorities.
No.
Personally.
Not personally. But I will say one party has a vastly more women and minorities representing them than the other. So you take it for what you will. Dang. You know. It says, we'll get the hemp ropes out, loop them over a tall limb, and hang all of them, Sutton said.
Dear goodness.
When asked if he felt if it was appropriate for the publisher of a newspaper to call for the lynching of Americans, Sutton doubled down on his position. It's not calling for the lynchings of Americans.
My gosh.
These are socialist communists we're talking about. Do you know what socialism and communism is? Sutton said. In the newspaper editorial, Sutton wrote, Democrats in the Republican Party and Democrats are plotting to raise taxes in Alabama. They do not understand how to eliminate expenses when money is needed in other areas. The socialist communist ideology sounds good to the ignorant, the uneducated, and the simple-minded people. All right, that all by itself, not too bad if you agree with that political position. when asked if he recognized the KKK as a racist and violent organization,
they're a terrorist organization, quite frankly.
Sutton disagreed, comparing the Klan to the NAACP.
Oh, my gosh.
A violent organization, he said.
Because the NAACP is known for using fear
yeah.
to put down their opponents.
This is a quote from him. A violent organization. Well, they didn't kill but a few people, Sutton said.
They only killed a few.
Oh, here's the other. The Klan wasn't violent until they needed to be.
I would argue they didn't ever need to be.
Really no call to be violent at all. None. Sutton said he didn't know any Klan remaining in the area, stating most died out after the 60s. Imagine that. When we all started having to interact with each other, we realized each other is not so bad. So
yeah.
The editor said he welcomed people to call him, write him a letter, or boycott them. Now,
to which America responded, okay.
Yes. He's been at this paper since 1964, and he inherited the publication from his father.
Oh, gosh.
And the newspaper received national acclaim in the 90s for reporting on a corrupt local sheriff. Now, we have corrupt local sheriffs just run rampant in Alabama.
Our hometown.
Yeah, our hometown has had like 2 or 3 that's been jailed. One of which who was jailed, got out, ran for sheriff, lost again after he got out, but then ran for county commission and was elected, and then ran for sheriff again and was elected. And this is a guy who got convicted of a felony, and I don't think he could carry a firearm.
I was about to say, this is a guy who can't pass a background check.
Right, yes, exactly. He would not get fired, or he would not get hired where I worked, and we re-elected him to sheriff. Anyways, it says in 2015 he read a headline titled "Selma Black Thugs Murder Demopolite Saturday Night," and at that time the paper had about 3,000 subscribers. So that was in 2015. Demopolis is a city in Marengo County where this paper's located. Chip Brownlee and Michaela Burns, editor-in-chief and managing editor, respectively, at the Auburn Plainsman, first spotted Sutton's editorial and shared it online Monday. As a newspaper editor myself, it's disturbing to see this type of editorial printed, Brownlee said via email. Granted, I'm the editor of a student newspaper, but all newspapers should be held to the highest ethical and moral standards. Editorials should be about new ideas, constructive criticisms, and opinion backed up by facts. To call for the return of domestic terrorism, no matter its form, is counterproductive and wrong. It's important to welcome and encourage differing opinions, but violence is never right. I have to say,
he said that far more eloquently than I could have said that.
Mr. Brownlee, 100% on board with you. Can't agree with you being an Auburn fan, but other than that, everything else you said, 100% right.
Because, my response would have been like, well, at least we know who that POS is
right,
now.
Yeah. Now
we can.
Now we know the guy we need to punch in the nose.
Now we don't need to wonder about what he really thinks. At least we know what a dirty worm he is.
Yes. So there's an update to this story, and I don't have it right here in front of me, but this guy has been replaced.
Imagine that.
Yeah, imagine that. And the person who replaced him is an African-American female, and she's taken over the paper in Linden, the Democratic Reporter. Right. And so hopefully probably won't be any more of this type of editorial in the paper.
You know what? I got to imagine if you're sitting in the waiting room and you're fixing to hand in your application for this position.
Yeah.
And you're, African American, you're just like, yes.
Got a real good shot of getting this one. Yeah. And like I was saying, I drove through Linden the other day, and it's a small town.
Was it covered in burning crosses?
No, it wasn't. Very nice people. I stopped at the gas station and got a drink and filled. I don't think I got gas. I got some Reese's cups or something because I eat healthy. And, everybody's just like any other town in Alabama. Completely nice people, both black and white. Everybody, hey, how you doing? And all that, holding the door for you when you go in, holding the door for you when you go out. So, everything seemed calm and cool then. But I don't know if this article had dropped. But Linden is a little different place. As we discussed, the public high school, Linden High School, the Patriots, by the way, they're 100% black. No white people go to school there. The private school, Marengo Academy, is 100% white. No people of color go to school there. And it's been that way since segregation was put in, or desegregation was put into effect. They just decided to all continue with their lives, and as it was going beforehand. So I'd say there are some different opinions probably in that town than maybe the rest of Alabamians might have, where things like that don't exist. All those, as we discussed earlier, when desegregation went into effect, all of these private schools magically just started up, you know, and all these white kids started going there because their parents were not about to allow them to go to school with people of a different race. And so some of those are still in effect today. Now, they may not be 100% white, or they may have a very small enrollment. I know the one that was started in Fayette eventually closed down because nobody was sending their kids to school there. I mean, they're like, have very good friends who went to school there, have no problem with the academy in Fayette. They just, I mean, they were graduating with like 5 people. And at some point, it's not economically viable to run a private school when you don't have any people coming to it, because people realize, like, hey, our kids can get a quality education at the public school, and it doesn't matter the color of people who are there. So, yeah. And full disclosure.
And we want a really good football team.
Yeah, right. Full disclosure, I went to Fed Academy for kindergarten. So, or Montessori, I'm sorry, the year before.
So, there's a year before kindergarten?
Yeah.
I was not even aware of that.
Yeah. Well, it's basically like preschool.
Okay.
You know? Yeah. Or what we call pre-K.
What did you call it, Montessori?
Montessori.
I thought that was a dinosaur.
No, they're actually Montessori schools that are basically set up kind of like elementary school. So, yeah. But so I did that. It was Hick Day Kid.
You could like be lying about all of that right now, and I would have no idea.
Yes. So, and then I went to public school for the rest of my life. No regrets. Loved it. Had a lot of fun, you know. And the people who went to Fed Academy, I don't think that they were all going there, or maybe any of them were going there because of their parents were racist, or they were racist, or anything like that. Not implying that at all, but it was started in that same time frame.
Yeah.
And of course, when we were all going to school there, that was, 20, 25 years after all that happened. So, but anyways, I would just like to say, Goodloe Sutton, you suck. And there's no better way to put it. You suck. You brought a black eye onto our state once again, where we didn't need to be one.
We've really worked hard these past 50 years to try to change our image. And, and what's the trendy word now? Evolve. We tried to evolve past all that.
Yes, right.
And then you go and do something like this.
Yeah.
Thanks for nothing.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You were part of the problem. And honestly, I wouldn't wish for anybody to die, but when people like you die off because you're definitely getting older, our state will be the better for it, probably for the most part.
Yeah, because we are better than you, we're not going to call for you to be lynched, because we disagree with you.
Right.
But you know what?
A lightning bolt, maybe.
But when you die, we will be hoisting one. So there you go.
Non-alcoholic beer because we're Baptists. So, I mean, to people in other parts of the world and other parts of the nation who listen to this, Alabama is not near as bad as we are portrayed. We are the butt of many, many, many jokes. And like I said, some of them very deservedly so.
We are number 9 in hatred.
That's right. We are.
All because of this POS right here.
Well, and violent crimes and things like that.
Yes.
But for the most part, all normal Alabamians, which are the majority of us, regardless of race, get along really, really well, interact really, really well. And as I was having a discussion with my friend John the other day, another John, strong name, that I work with, who happens to be African American, you can look at our little hometown, Fed, Alabama. Like interracial relationships, people don't even bat an eye to them anymore. I mean, our state has changed so much for the better, and that's great because if we profess to be Christians, if you're listening to this and you live in Alabama and you profess to be a Christian and you judge people on the color of their skin, I'd have to say you have some issues with just general Bible, theology, because there's really not a whole lot of conditions in the New Testament based off of race in any way. So
absolutely.
We're all considered equal.
Because Christ's blood was shed for them as much as for you.
Right.
And you ever think maybe a little bit of that blood was shed because of your racist attitudes?
Right. Yeah, so exactly. Yes. Romans 10:13 says, whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. There's no other requirements in there other than you just have to answer the call. You call on God, He's going to help you out. So just get off my soapbox a little bit. Because it's very frustrating. And
love your neighbor as you
absolutely.
love yourself.
Absolutely.
The disciples asked him, well, who is my neighbor? And then he went on to tell this long story about a dude that was beaten on the road and nobody would help him except this, Samaritan.
Right.
And then he asked you, well, who helped their neighbor?
Yeah.
It was the Samaritan.
It was
who
the Samaritan.
The Jewish people hated, by the way.
Yes, yeah, they're not real fond of them.
Yeah.
So, and that proves a larger point. Racism has existed for a very long time. I don't know that we're going to erase it in my lifetime, but we've definitely made a lot of strides. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Well, now that we've had Sunday school.
That's right. Yeah. It just brought everybody down. Sorry, guys, but I just felt it was important to talk about.
It is.
I love my state. I really do. I love Alabama. I'm Alabama to the core. I don't feel like I will ever live anywhere else. I love this state. I love the people in this state.
Love the football team.
Love the football team. Love the food. Oh, man.
Yes.
Can't beat the food. Had pig's feet and pig's tails yesterday, by the way. Excellent food. Got great food.
Well, let's see. Where can we go from here?
I don't know. Let's bring it up a little bit. Let's get a little light.
Hey, there was a Texas dad who shot himself in the stomach on his daughter's birthday.
Okay. Happy birthday, little angel.
What was he doing? He was spinning his gun on his finger. Like Walker Texas Ranger style.
That's 100% Texas story right there.
A Texas father accidentally shot himself in the stomach Saturday during his daughter's 16th birthday and was rushed to the hospital, report said. The Houston man's condition is unknown, but the shooting occurred while he was spinning the gun with his finger, ClickTHouston.com reported. Texas #1 in gun finger spinning accidents.
Absolutely. They rank #1 in that.
It was not immediately clear what kind of firearm was used or whether or not the gun was legal. It's a very short article. That's all it said.
Oh, man.
But I'm assuming that he was using, if he was using a revolver at all,
yeah,
he probably either had it cocked, which you shouldn't have had it cocked.
Definitely not.
Or it was a double action.
Right.
Again, when you see all that stuff on the Westerns, okay, for one, it's not a real gun. It's a prop.
True.
But
yeah.
two, cowboys who did that, they had a single action pistol.
Right.
Which is if the hammer's not cocked, that trigger's not
pulled. Yeah,
you can't pull it.
Right.
Or it's not going to do anything because the hammer's down.
Right.
So you
Yeah.
try that with a double action revolver, or you cock the hammer before you try to spin it on your finger, or Lord forbid you try that with a semi-auto,
Oh.
which is not even weighted right for that.
No. Yeah, that's wild.
Don't play with guns, okay?
Yeah.
They're dangerous tools.
Absolutely. Yes.
So don't play with them.
Don't, especially at a kid's birthday party. Like, what was he thinking? Do you think he was like, hey, everybody, look at Daddy, I'm going to show off for you? Like, maybe she's having like a cowboy, cowgirl theme, party, and he's like,
Happy
"Ooh."
Sweet 16, honey. Yeah.
That's right. Then he shoots himself right in the gut.
If I had been in the audience, I would just been like,
I would have sprang into action with immediate first aid, okay? Because I've had a dream my whole life. In Boy's Life, they, I don't know if they still do it, they used to put cartoons in there, like it was like a graphic, like novel type thing of a Boy Scout, like rescuing somebody.
Right.
And it was like based off of a real life event, and you got a medal. And my whole life in scouting, I wanted to get a medal for saving somebody's life. And I've never had that opportunity. I mean, I pulled some people out of the pool who drowned and stuff, but that's nothing. That's not going to reach it.
I remember once I pushed my grandpa out of the road when a car was coming.
Nice.
Now, the car was a good 200-300 yards down the road.
You still saved his life.
But I wanted my medal.
That's right. I want my medal.
I was 9.
But yeah, like, you just ruined your kid's birthday party. I guess tough.
Did he ruin it or did he make it better?
I mean, she's got a story
if you
to
were
tell.
there, you're like, I was there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And how did it say how old she was turning?
16, I believe.
16.
Yeah.
Oh, now you got to go to school the next day and have everybody make fun of your dad shooting himself in the gut. Because as in Texas, everybody's got a gun, so they all know how to use guns.
Yes.
They all understand how
Some
guns
don't
work.
know how to use guns.
Apparently, this dude doesn't. May have been his first day as a gun owner. Maybe he's like, hey, I got us father-daughter matching pistols, Let me just chamber one up and twist this thing around on my...
Look, I got you this pink pistol.
Yeah, right.
Let me show you how to use it, little lady.
That's wild.
Wow.
That's wild, man. Right in the gut. Man, get gut shot on your daughter's 16th birthday. That's tough. That's tough. Well,
man.
you know, like I say, she's got a story to tell for the rest of her life now.
Yeah.
You know,
just real quick, and I know we got to move on. But a lot of times when you read these articles, you hear about guns misfiring.
Mm-hmm.
I just want the listening audience to know that misfires are rare.
extremely.
99.99999% of the time you read that, a gun fired because the trigger was pulled and somebody was being negligent.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, very rarely will they just go off, you know, without any outside
It's
factors.
a very old technology. It has been through a lot of CQ, and it's just about perfected now.
Yeah,
so you know you can throw a gun out of an airplane and it won't go off.
Yes,
unless you pull that trigger, and that's what it's designed to do. So please, people, be careful. Don't play with it.
Yeah, yeah. Just always be aware when you're handling a firearm. That's all you got to do. It's all you got to do. Okay, let's move on to our next story here.
Okay.
It comes from MSN.com. It's an Associated Press story. And it says here, couple thought murder plot was untraceable on Snapchat. A woman and her boyfriend were deployed with the U.S. Army in South Korea when they conspired via Snapchat to kill her husband so she could claim the life insurance money, police in Michigan say.
Oh, man.
Barron County Judge Sterling Schrock ruled Wednesday in a preliminary hearing that the murder trial of Kimia Hassel, 22, and Jeremy Cooler, 24, will begin on April 30th. April 30th was the day of mine and Deidre's first date in 1994, by the way. Both have pleaded not guilty to the December 31st killing of U.S. Army Sergeant Tyrone Hassel III.
Oh, so they went through with it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Cooler was also charged with felony firearms count. Authorities say the 23-year-old Hassel was ambushed while visiting family in St. Joseph's Township. He died of multiple gunshot wounds, including one to the head, according to the autopsy report. All three were soldiers stationed at Fort Stewart in Georgia. Camilla Hassel told police in a signed statement that she spent months planning how to kill her husband so she could continue her romantic relationship with Cooler. Township Police Officer Mike Lanier testified on Wednesday. They had been married since 2016 and had a 1-year-old son. She told police she was unhappy with her marriage, but she didn't want to go through with the divorce because she wouldn't be able to receive any life insurance money.
Yeah, that is a requirement for life insurance.
Stickler.
Somebody's
got to be dead.
Somebody's got to kick the bucket if you want to collect that.
Hassler and Cooler began plotting while they were deployed to South Korea last year. The pair communicated through Snapchat because they believed the social media app's temporary messages would make it difficult for police to trace, she said. Okay.
Not that difficult.
Not that difficult. I mean, everybody knows this by now, right? I don't even
what
have
is Snapchat even for?
I thought it was for sending naked pictures to you.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, right. Yes. I mean, this is, yeah. I don't even have Snapchat. I send naked pictures the old way. Polaroid in an envelope and stick it in the mail. That's right. In a week and a half, you're going to get a surprise, little lady. It builds anticipation. That's a good thing. All right. Retro, you know, it's so cool these days. Retro. Yes. Army specialist Joaquin Hamilton and Army Corporal Tatiana Butler testified that they were aware of the plot, of the two people's plot to kill the husband. Man, it's not looking good for them.
No.
Edwin Johnson, who's the lawyer for Cooler, said it would be hard to pin the shooting on Cooler. No one saw him at the scene. He was going to give up on this. He wasn't going to do it. There were several other suspects, Johnson said. Exactly what you would want your lawyer to say if you had killed someone, you know?
Yes.
Her lawyer, Camilla's lawyer, Miss Locke, her name is Caitlin Locke, said her client shouldn't be charged with first-degree murder because she didn't pull the trigger. But Schrock said there was enough evidence to prove she aided and abetted. Tyrone Hassel's father, Tyrone Hassel Jr., said it was difficult to hear the details about the plot to kill his son, and I would imagine so. He said it's hard to take it in without crying. And I would just like to say to you, Mr. Hassel, nothing wrong with crying in this situation at all. You know, like,
right? Absolutely.
These people killed your son. I would be crying too. I would probably be very mad.
Yeah, I
would tears of anger.
And thank goodness that they were dumb enough to believe that they could plot a murder on social media,
Snapchat, right?
And nobody would know.
Yeah, and you know, I would just like to say, like, if you're in an unhappy relationship, murder is not the way out of it. And I know you may want life insurance money.
I was about to say, that's the only way you're going to get life insurance.
Yeah. So you may just have to say, my happiness is worth more than taking someone else's life. You know? So don't do that. And if you're going to plan a murder, don't do it via
or maybe you should.
Social media.
Please use social media.
I mean, yeah. And look, hypothetically.
Hashtag let's commit crimes, y'all.
Yeah, like hypothetically, if you're going to commit a crime, you should probably do it in a way that there would be no written record of it anywhere. Yeah. As Charles Barkley pointed out last night, maybe night before last, on the NBA broadcast on TNT, they were talking about the Jussie Smollett guy.
Yes.
If you're going to commit a crime, don't write a check. You know, like you never write a check for that. Like, let's just get cash and do it all by cash. So
also, you should have done that down in the Bible Belt.
Yeah,
where we rank high on hatred.
Yes, right. Yes. But yeah, you know. So, anyways, these people are incredibly dumb. I'm glad they're caught. I'm sure they will be convicted because since there's a written record, and this lady's already signed a statement saying there's a written record.
Yeah.
She's just trying to save her own. But now she loved old boyfriend when they were planning the murder.
But now that they're talking about
going to jail for life, yes,
decades long sentence terms,
she's singing like a bird. That relationship wasn't so good, you know. So. You know, and to all the ladies and men out there looking to cheat on their husbands and or wife, you know, let's just go ahead and man up or woman up. I don't know what the saying is for women. Woman up, I guess. Put your big girl panties on and go to your significant other and be like, I need to get out. You know, let's just end this now. I'm not happy. I'm not for marriages breaking up at all.
But that's better than
murder and cheating and deceit and lying and all the other things. You know?
Yeah, don't go the route of was King Henry.
Yes, right. Yeah. I mean, like he started a whole nother church, right? To get out of his marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
a lot of his, because he couldn't get a divorce.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I can off my wife and just get another wife that way.
Yeah. So you just got to do it like a Band-Aid, just real quick, just rip it off and end it. You know, let's go get a divorce and be done with it. Now, having said that, Deidre, I mean, you're not allowed to get me a divorce, okay? You just got to stay with me for forever. I need insurance. I need health insurance, and you have it, okay? No, I need you, all right? You're responsible for me being alive. And because I love you so much and want you to get life insurance one day, I live a very unhealthy lifestyle, you know? So
for you,
I'm doing this for you, baby. I've gained all this weight for you.
This mellow yellow right here,
that's for you. It's for you. Yes, when I drink water, my kidneys are shocked. You know, they're like, what is this strange substance coming in here? Yeah, exactly. And I'm doing that all because I love my wife and I want her to enjoy my life insurance policy, which is very hefty, by the way, because. You know, I had to take out a bunch when I had the business, and I've never readjusted it. We just left it like it is. So, yeah. You'll do pretty good, baby. It's just you may have to wait a few more years.
Well, speaking of kidneys being shocked,
okay.
Tamara Mowry drinks sister Tia's breast milk after falling ill, hoping it will cure her sickness.
Okay, all right.
Do you remember the show Sister?
I do remember.
The twins,
yes.
Tia and Tamara?
Yes. I never really watched it, but I know it.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they're all grown up. They're married. They have kids. They have families.
Uh-huh.
And I want to say that Tia just recently celebrated the birth of her new daughter, I think. We'll read it in here. Apparently, Tamara's getting some...
Just took a little swig. I mean, I imagine it was like out of a container, not like straight from the tap, was it? It wasn't straight from the nozzle.
Is for video? For scientific purposes?
Yeah, I don't know. Someone in Alabama will find it based off of those rankings, if there is.
Anyway, it says here, Tamara is relying on Tia to get better, but not in the way you might think. After Tamara, 40, recently came down with an illness and desperately searched for remedies, she finally turned to her twin sister. Instead of suggestions for medicine or herbal remedies, Tia provided Tamara with some breast milk, as she had just read an article suggesting that it can be beneficial for adults.
Okay.
While the thought of drinking a woman's breast milk isn't most people's go-to when they aren't well, the host, host...
Is it? I don't know. A lot of weird people out there.
had nothing but praise for her sister's secretions. That's disgusting.
Sistersecretions.com.
Recording a video on her Instagram, Tamara held up a coffee cup filled with the milk and declared it the best milk I've ever had.
Okay.
No one's milk's better than my sister's.
Let's just pause for a second. To anyone out there who may want to drink breast milk, for various medical or erotic reasons, I guess. I don't know. People have a lot of different motivations in life.
Some people are just trying to get mad gains in the gym.
That's true. That's right. We did a story about that. There's no reason to do an Instagram live or whatever with you drinking it. No reason. That's something you can just do, and you don't ever have to even talk about it to anybody. But anyways, go ahead.
Here's a quote. "Oh my gosh, Tia, this is amazing," Tamara said in the clip as she held up the cup of liquid. "Your breast milk is the best milk I've ever tried in my life. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
OMG. That just rolls right off the tongue. Your breast milk is the best milk."
Breast milk's the best
Stick
milk.
that on a bumper sticker, man.
Yeah, or just like a tattoo right there on the upper breast,
She also captioned the video, which altered her face and voice through a silly filter, which,
Of course, yeah. That's
very
that's
popular on
standard.
Instagram.
Right.
"Well, I do feel better." Let's see, down here it says, meanwhile, Tia, who welcomed her daughter May last year, found humor in the situation and posted the video of her sister on her Instagram as well. "So my sister is desperate for some healing," she wrote. "She's sicky poo, and I sent her an article on how breast milk has healing properties and was okay with drinking my hashtag breast milk.
Okay.
P.S. She's had some before, and I mean she's my twin."
Easy. What does that mean? Easy.
So this isn't the first time.
Okay, let's get down to it. Did you ever try any breast milk at any point?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, me either.
It just got squirted on me accidentally one time.
Okay. That's wild.
Not as exciting as I thought it might be.
That's wild. I would like to know what her sickness was. The Tia's sickness here. Like, is it like
It wasn't lactose intolerance, was it?
absolutely? Was it like I have cancer or some kind of chronic disease?
I hope not.
Or is it like I have a head cold? I
don't know.
'Cause I feel like, let's just take some Sudafed and go on about our lives if it's just like a simple cold or something. You don't have to get all into the breast milk life.
I don't even know if I should say this.
Well, let's see.
I do remember my son, he got it in his eyes because it supposedly had, magic healing powers that made him better.
Yeah, well, he can see through walls now.
Yes.
Well, that's crazy. Like, I don't know anything about breast milk. I have very limited knowledge on it other than, warming it up and putting it in a bottle and feeding it to my kid, No real knowledge. I imagine it's probably got a lot of healthy qualities in it for kids, like enzymes and antibodies and all that good stuff, science stuff. But,
It says,
I would just like to say, I'm going to have to be super sick before I go, I need some breast milk, before I go to someone.
Well, I'm going to have to be, duped into thinking it's actually going to work.
Yeah.
I think I'll try most anything if I think it's going to work.
Yeah.
But I got to believe it's going to have some actual healing properties.
But here's the thing, I was stopped up for a few weeks, During that time, it never occurred to me. And even if you would have sent me an article or something about the healing powers of breast milk, I'd have been like, hey, I'm all right taking Dayquil. I'm good. I'll get by. I'm not to the level of needing breast milk,
Right.
So that's what I'm just saying. I wonder what her sickness was. That's all I want to know,
Well, it says here, the article goes on to say that doctors advise against this.
Okay. Wonder why.
It says here, in addition, human breast milk can contain dangerous impurities such as infectious diseases, including hepatitis, HIV, and syphilis, and bacterial foodborne illnesses if the milk is not properly sanitized or stored, CBS News said. CBS News, How dare you say that about Tia's breast milk? How dare you?
Well,
this woman has the best, most magical breast milk in the land.
Yes, it's been declared.
So
yeah, now I could get, you don't want to get it. You don't want to buy it from a stranger. You don't want to just hey, put a squirt in my coffee. I like a little creamer. You don't want to do that, to just some random person. But say it's your wife.
But you go online, and there are women who.
Oh, yeah.
have their own dairies.
Yes, right. I know. Yeah. I did a whole story about it. Yeah.
Mommy milk.
Yes, right. Yeah. That was I think that was probably the episode Tiger Woods was on. So, yeah, y'all check that one out.
Yes.
But, yeah, that's just wild. I just don't know that. I'm just not there. I just can't do it.
Right.
I just can't. Never. I don't know that I'll be sick enough to do that. So, anyway,
that's enough about sister.
Well, let's go on to my last story here, which is about a thick-tongued woman.
Okay.
This is from the TC Palm. This is a Florida story, kind of a Florida story. It's from Martin County, and it says a woman accused of mooing at a deputy after a traffic crash and likening the investigator to a cow was arrested on DUI and other charges, according to an affidavit. So Joanne Carr, care to take a stab at how old Joanne is?
36.
She's 73.
Whoa.
Of Massachusetts, was jailed on charges of DUI crash, property damage, and obstruction without violence after the February 3rd incident. Carr told Martin County Sheriff deputies that she had begun drinking vodka at 8 a.m., and deputies noted an open container of Smirnoff on the front seat. Now, we all know the one thing that pairs best with Fruity Pebbles is Smirnoff. Like for your morning to start your day off, Smirnoff. Yes. Deputies found Carr in a Pontiac, crashed in the area of North Old Dixie Highway and County Line Road in southeast Martin County.
You're a long way from Massachusetts.
That's right. When you're on North Old Dixie Highway, yeah, you're a long way from home. She couldn't figure out how to unlock her doors or roll down the windows, deputies said. That's when you're really drunk. Yes. I mean, that's extremely drunk. Asked what happened, Carr said, "What do you think, pig?" Investigators say it appears she ran over some recently planted trees, collided with one fence, and ran over another. She smelled of booze, mumbled, and was quote-unquote thick-tongued, deputies said.
Thick-tongued.
Yep. Censor here. If you're sensitive, there's not what I consider a cuss word, but it could be considered a cuss word in this context. "The hell you are," she is quoted as saying. Carr declined to take field sobriety exercises. "You're not taking me anywhere but home, you expletive pig. I mean cow. Moo."
Clever.
Now, my favorite part of this article is this next paragraph, and I'm reading it exactly how it's written. I'm not censoring anything that's in it. This is exactly how it is written. This is a 73-year-old woman talking, by the way, from Massachusetts. Investigators determined Carr was impaired and took her to jail. On the way, Carr is quoted as calling a deputy a pig, sow, cow, derogatory term, expletive, and expletive, the affidavit states.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's just how they say hello in Massachusetts. So...
She also spoke poorly about the deputy's family and the state of Florida. Breath tests measured her blood alcohol content at 0.247 and 0.242, more than 3 times the legal limit of 0.08. She said she'd been drinking since 8 a.m. and finished several hours later when deputies stopped her. So that's the end of that.
Did it say her name or just said elderly woman?
No, Joanne Carr.
Well, thank you, Ms. Joanne Carr, for doing your part to make Florida #1 in sinfulness.
And I don't know that we can really make this like a Florida story since she's from Massachusetts.
She's a plant.
But I feel like Florida was a contributing factor.
Yes.
You can't just totally put this on Massachusetts. Florida played a role in it. You know? We all get down on the beach and want to have a few cocktails. I mean, not me because I'm a deacon in a Baptist church, but everybody else.
But we all get down there and we think our pastor can't see us.
Right.
And
yes.
he can't see us.
Yes, he can.
But Jesus can.
Jesus can. And Jesus doesn't want you to have a fifth of Smirnoff with your breakfast and then continue drinking throughout the day until you're arrested that evening after you crash.
Oh, man.
And then call the officers a bunch of cuss words. So,
well, let's bring it on home, shall we?
Okay.
Last story of the day. I feel like we've had a solid show today.
I think so, too.
Do you like lightsaber dueling in Star Wars movies?
Oh, number one.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
I'll tell you who loves lightsaber dueling.
Who?
It's the French.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, the nation of France. In fact, they like it so much that lightsaber dueling is recognized as an official sport in France now.
Oh, wow.
The fictional weapons are a new hope for the sport.
A new hope. I get it.
Yeah. The French Fencing Federation has recognized lightsaber dueling as an official sport, reports the Associated Press. The Federation has made the move in an attempt to make the sport more appealing to a younger generation, and it has designed its rules to make sporting matches every bit as visually appealing as their big screen counterparts. Obviously, that means participants are required to use an illuminated weapon, so they gotta go to Toys R Us. Well, I guess Toys R Us is closed now. They gotta go down to the toy store and get them a lighted up lightsaber.
Yes, right.
Although they'll have to settle for a blade made by polycarbonate rather than the magnetically contained plasma of the films. While this means the weapons won't be slicing anyone in half anytime soon, the participants will need to wear masks and armor to protect themselves during matches. I think they should have made them wear robes, personally.
Yeah, right, yeah. I mean, you want to be authentic, right?
Yeah. The new sport of lightsaber dueling has additional rules designed to improve its aesthetic appeal. For example, the point of the lightsaber needs to reach behind each fighter before they attempt to hit. So I guess before they can hit them, they got to bring it back.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah, rear back, so you smack them really good. Yeah.
Yes. The intention is to make the fights consist of large sweeping motions rather than the quick stabs of the blade that you see in other forms of fencing. Otherwise, the sport's rules are more typical of fencing. Points are awarded depending on where the blade makes contact. Hitting the head or body means you get 5 points. Arms or legs gets you 3, and hands gets you just 1. And if you get them in the groin, you win the game immediately.
Now, did they say that these events will be held in somebody's mom's basement?
It doesn't say.
Okay, all right. Just wondering, just curious.
Yeah. If the match isn't over after 3 minutes, then the person with the highest score automatically wins.
Oh, wow.
We might not be seeing lightsaber dueling turned into an official Olympic sporting event anytime soon, but as an attempt to get newcomers into fencing, you could do a lot worse. Now, who do we need to speak to about getting blasters recognized by the International Shooting Sports Federation? Well, we need blasters to be a thing first. But.
Well, I just want to throw this out here. Yeah. I'm not trying to be too radical, but have these people, these nerds, really,
French nerds,
have they ever heard of the sport of fencing? Because it's pretty much the same thing, and it's been established for hundreds of years, where you can sword fight with people just like you would with lightsabers. So
yeah, but in fencing you have to use like a car antenna.
Those things hurt, they say. I don't know. I've never done it.
Well, have you ever got a spanking with a car antenna? Yeah, they hurt.
I haven't gotten a spanking with a car antenna. My parents love me. Okay. I was splice water. That was what I got. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they could just fence, right? But I mean, I know like the fencing federation's probably in on this, but
right.
Let's just fence. But maybe like the fencing people are like, this is going to bring like some hipness to our sport, you know?
Very hipness.
Yeah.
Yes.
To get people liking it, because one thing people want to do is whatever nerds are doing. So,
well, I tell you what, I mean, I live in, Alabama here in America.
That's right.
I don't think a lightsaber duel is coming here anytime soon.
No. We will have a pistol duel.
But if it did, I would go.
Yeah.
I would take my son.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh, bad luck. I don't think I would. No, I don't think I would. Nope. I would do.
Dude, I would get the cotton candy. I'd get the little snow cone and the little Star Wars mug that tastes terrible,
like a Yoda finger or something to wear. Yeah,
I'd do all that.
I would ride by with my sons and say, "Those are the people we need to bully," and and tell them that they are not doing right. I will say though, look, if you're a nerd or a geek or whatever, what a time to be alive for you.
That's true.
I mean, like comic book movies are left and right. Now you got lightsaber duels. You got Disney bought Star Wars. You're getting Star Wars movies on the regular now. What a time to be alive. This is like the age of the nerd.
Age of the nerd.
Yeah, I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, the only real nerd like propaganda that was good was Revenge of the Nerds. The movie franchise. I love those movies, by the way. Yeah. Love them.
Not for the kids.
No, definitely not a kids movie. No. But yeah, so I would say if you're a nerd, this is your time to shine. You know, I just say let's do regular fencing. And this is already an Olympic sport, so we can just go ahead and do that. So
yeah,
whatever.
but see, nobody's gonna watch normal fencing.
And we'll see.
Would. We'll see if people watch.
If they put fencing on ESPN, look, I watch basically amateur football right now. Okay, it's like worse than college football and not as good as pro football. I watch it and I'm excited about it because it's football.
Yeah.
If they were to put fencing on ESPN2 late at night one night, I would sit there and watch it and I would get all into it. I've watched rugby matches, have no idea how they play rugby, no idea about the rules of rugby. So I'll watch anything.
Well, maybe we should start a Tuscaloosa fencing league.
Maybe so. Yeah. But I don't want to do anything athletic, you know? Like I don't want to have to.
Well, we don't have to actually fence. We just got to get other people
be like
to
the
fence.
governing body.
And we
it.
commentate.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Now we're getting close.
And if we could maybe take a page from like WWE, we have them embrace characters.
Yeah, and some storylines going on.
Yes.
Oh, I like it.
And like they don't all have the same little car antenna.
Yeah.
But like maybe this guy has a broadsword and this guy has a hatchet or something.
Yeah. Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Basically Soul Calibur on the Xbox.
Okay.
In real life.
And then you have like teams. You could have like the Three Musketeers over here who are like all French storyline. I love it. Love it. This is a huge idea. Nobody take our ideas. Nobody. All right. This is our idea. We said it first. We're doing it. Okay. Nobody. If you have financial backing and capital you want to invest into this idea, please contact us.
Maybe a large Instagram following.
Yeah, right. Yes. Please contact us and let's get it going. The International Fencing League or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would work. That would totally work. Because sword fight's cool, you know?
Let's see. MMA, they made a big splash with, I'm trying to think, how can we brand ourselves? What would we be?
Ooh.
Enhanced fighting? Because we're using weapons?
Enhanced sword fighting.
Advanced MMA?
Ooh, maybe. I've never gotten into MMA, so I don't really understand that whole culture. Every time I've watched a match, it's just like two dudes in their underwear rolling around on the floor, you know? And I can see that on the internet. I don't have to pay-per-view for that. So, you know, it just doesn't appeal to me. So
Right.
I don't understand that much about it. But anyways, good for the nerds.
Yes.
So happy for them that they are now athletes, basically. They have nerded their way into being athletes. Never thought I would see it, but sooner or later, the top lightsaber guy will be more popular than Tom Brady, I bet. So
Maybe.
which is good for
Maybe
Tom
already.
Brady. Maybe good for Tom Brady. His owner had a little bit of problems over this weekend.
I saw that.
Yeah, a little bit of problems. There's been some really funny stuff put out about that. We don't want to, very uncomfortable talking about it here. But if you don't know, just go search Robert Kraft on your Google machine and see what happens. It's had a little rough weekend. Yeah, let's talk about Cajun Curl, everybody's favorite spice. We want to thank them for their help. Cajun Curl Bayou Blended Spice is available at CajunCurl.com, and you can order the spice there, and their Cajun Curl chip cutter as well. It was created on the Elm Bayou in Evangeline Parish, Louisiana, and it's a seasoning that goes on everything. If you like cooking or eating, this is a spice for you. Cajun Curl Bayou Blended Spice goes well with chicken, beef, pork, potatoes, and anything else you can think of putting it on. You could probably throw it in your lightsaber dueling opponent's eyes, you know. It's just like to blind him and give him a taste
Bring
sensation.
up the palm and like blow into it.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yes.
Their spiral potato cutter is absolutely amazing. It's easy to use, it's easy to clean, and it will allow you to make your own chips using the Cajun Curl spice. If you want to turn your next cookout or lightsaber duel up a notch, imagine whipping up a batch of your own homemade potato chips. Your next door neighbor isn't going to be able to top that, and neither is the nerd that lives in his mom's basement next door too, who y'all are lightsaber dueling with. On the website, CajunCurl.com, you can not only order the spice and the chip cutter, but you can find recipes that are absolutely mind-blowing. You can also locate your nearest retailer or order your own. If your local grocer doesn't carry world-famous Cajun Curl Bayou Blended Spice, ask them to start stocking. All of the products are made in the USA, so not only do you enjoy the taste of Cajun Curl, but you feel patriotic while you enjoy your meal. It's all natural, low salt, it has a little kick to it, but it doesn't burn your lips. World famous Cajun Curl Bayou Blended Spice. Taste the spice, but not the heat. Check them out at CajunCurl.com and use the promo code EOP10 to get a 10% discount. That's EOP and the number 10, and you get a 10% discount.
Because we ask that you use the spice, but we don't ask you to pay full price.
Amen.
All right, for community news this week, we have a letter.
Okay.
We got a letter.
And
this letter comes from Marcia, and she says, "Hey guys, I just wanted to say how much I enjoy your show. I just found you about a month ago, and since then have been catching up on past shows. I have been through all of them, and now my laughs are down to the weekly show." Wow.
Yeah.
If she's listened to our entire back catalog.
Yes. I would like to say maybe try to find a job or something. Let's contribute to the economy.
Where you can listen to Earth Oddity.
Right. I'm kidding, Marcia. I don't care. I'm sure you got a lot of free time. It's fine.
Thanks for the time you put into this. There have been episodes that made me laugh so hard I had tears in my eyes and spit out my coffee with some of your hilarious commentaries.
Okay.
So, wow.
That's a big compliment for me.
Yes. I'm very proud of that.
Yes, me too.
I'm sure many people appreciate the nice, clean laughs you bring our way. I hope you keep the show going for a long time. I look forward to it. Best to both of you. P.S. Going to leave you a 5-star review.
Oh,
thank you so much, Marcia.
Yep. Marcia.
I really, really appreciate it.
Listener of the week.
Yes.
Marcia right there. Yes, listener of the week. Tell your friends about it.
Yes.
Yeah. And really to everyone, not only Marcia, tell a friend about it, you know.
And I tell you what, leave us that 5-star review. And once you do, send us a P.O. box or an address.
And we'll come visit you. That's a joke. We're not coming to visit you.
No, we won't come visit you.
No, I can't get that time off work.
But if you think that, you can send us, I don't know, your friend's address or something.
True.
You know,
it's like an address to the local sheriff's department or something.
Yes.
I mean, these two weirdos from the internet are coming to meet me.
Send us a mailing address and we will mail you out a pair of disguise glasses that you can then don on your face, take a picture, and tag it Earth Oddity in Instagram.
That's right, yes.
Because that's our push right now.
Yep. I gave a few of those out so far. I hadn't seen any of those pictures come up.
Yeah,
so I'm the people who I gave them to, I know you listen. I just want you to know, I know that you haven't done it yet. So come on.
And if you have sent in your address, and we've got several, those will be going out this week. Heck, it may be sitting in the mailbox by the time you're listening to this.
That's right.
So go check it out.
Yeah. And, like I was saying, Marcia, thank you so much. You're the reason we do it.
Absolutely.
Really, for you. And we want to make people laugh, and we want people to be happy because Tiny and I are happy people. And all we ask any of our listeners to do is just tell a friend about the show. Let them listen to it. If there was something in this show that you thought was interesting or funny or whatever, just show them how to do it. Also, maybe unsubscribe and resubscribe to us to help our numbers go up a little bit more. And then, just share the word with other people. We want to spread the Earth Oddity gospel around the world, if only for people to make fun of our accents and the crazy stuff we say.
We got a shout out on another podcast this week.
Yeah.
So thanks. Shout out to the Where Is the Line podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Not for the faint of heart.
No.
But if you enjoy stories that make you cringe, and I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
They will make you cringe. Go check them out. So much thanks to them. But I brought him up because he actually said, I know Kevin. He's a super cool dude. He's the guy that ate all his cheese fries in that one review.
Yes. Well, I mean, you can't leave cheese fries unprotected around you.
No, he has he doesn't have the thickest Southern accent. And he said anybody listening to their show who's maybe disappointed that he doesn't sound as Southern, tune into Earth Oddity.
Now you get a dose of it here.
Yes.
Also, I would give a shout out to my buddy Paul West, longtime friend Paul West. He has a show, Jazz Me Blue, on WDVX out of Knoxville, but you can get it on the internet at WDVX.com. He covers old records, old 45s and phonograph records, jazz and blues and stuff. Great show. Love it. Listen to it a lot. He gave us a shout out too, talked about the podcast, mentioned that I was the world's biggest Birmingham Iron fan too.
Well, they don't call you the Iron Long for nothing.
That's right. That's right. So I just wanted to say to everybody, if you enjoy music that's a little off the beaten path, kind of, early pre-war jazz, blues, his show is top of the shelf, I guess. I don't know what saying to say.
If you're not local, can you stream it online?
Absolutely, yeah. Awesome. And you can go back and listen to old episodes too. I think they're up for a week. Because it comes on while I'm trying to get kids to bed and stuff. Right. So I usually will listen to it while I'm driving, for work and stuff. Cool. But it's a great show. Great show. Everybody should check it out.
You have been listening to Earth Oddity Podcast, and we thank you so much for listening to us no matter where you get us, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio. We're on them all.
Yep, we are.
If you would like to email the show, and why wouldn't you want to send us a mailing address so we can mail you our super cool, super stealthy disguise glasses, we are earthoddity@planetmail.net. If you would like to tweet at us, we are @_earthoddity on Twitter.
That's right.
We have an Instagram page, which is _earthoddity.
That's right.
So check that out.
This is tip top. Most popular page on Instagram, I think.
Well, maybe not, but it's getting there. It's getting there quickly. And if you would like to give us a call and leave us a voicemail, you can do that too. What's that number, John?
It's 662-493-2059.
What's that number again?
662-493-2059.
We hope everybody has a great week. We thank you so much for listening to us. I'm Tiny. This here's the Iron Long.
Yes.
Earth Oddity for the Fringe Radio Network signing off. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye. Love y'all.
This has been a very odd production. Thanks for listening.